All right. Hello, everyone. We're going to wait a minute, see if everyone else can join here. Give them about a minute or so before we begin.
Morning, everyone.
Morning. Just be waiting a moment while we wait for any more stragglers to come into the meeting. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Luke Webb. I'm a government contracting specialist with the Northwest Commission APEX Accelerator. This is the third presentation in our prep session series for the upcoming Tri-State APEX Accelerator Mega-Matchmaker, which is planned to be held December 2nd and 3rd. If you haven't seen it previously, we recorded the last two sessions, and I'll talk about them a little more later. But this session will also be recorded, and we'll have a section for questions at the end. If you have any questions that come up, feel free to add them to the chat as we move through the presentation. So starting us off, just to define, what an APEX Accelerator is. The APEX Accelerator program is a program under the Department of Defense Office of Small Business Programs that plays a role in the department's efforts to identify and engage with a wide range of businesses that enter the defense supply chain and also assist businesses that are just getting into government contracting. We provide education and training for all businesses that need to participate and become capable of participating in DoD and other government contracts. Our mission is nationwide. We serve businesses across all 50 states and territories. So if you aren't located in our service area, northwestern Pennsylvania, we can also have a link in the next slide showing you what your APEX Accelerator is if you don't already work with them. But we serve the 8 counties of northwestern Pennsylvania: Erie, Crawford, Mercer, Lawrence, Venango, Clarion, Forest, and Warren. So if you're already, of course, in that region, you could reach out to us and become our client if you are not already, or work with us if you already are. So with that out of the way, this course meeting is to help you prepare for the upcoming Tri-State APEX Accelerator Mega-Matchmaker event. This is the 6th annual event, and it'll be held from December 2nd and 3rd from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The event serves to connect government buyers, so prime contractors and government agencies, to suppliers, so small businesses that are trying to sell to these either as contractors or subcontractors. So the event is going to be including general breakout sessions, which will cover various topics in government contracting, sort of just like webinars, talking about certain events from, government employees and agencies, and giving you an idea of what they do, and also some other speakers. And there's also going to be, and this is the main purpose of the event, the pre-scheduled one-on-one meetings. So obviously, as a matchmaking event, you're going to really be looking to prepare for these one-on-one meetings, and this will be geared towards preparing you to make the most out of those one-on-one meetings. So here's a screenshot of the Tri-State APEX Accelerator Mega-Matchmaker website. You could find a list of the buyers that are going to be attending the meeting. This page contains links to those websites, either federal agency sites, state and local buyer sites, and prime buyers, and our resource partners, which will bring you to their website and let you read through, what kind of businesses or agency they are, and find some more information, and just know who's going to be planning on attending the event as you prepare for the event. So I'll briefly go over how you're going to schedule a meeting, although this was also covered in a previous prep session, so I'm not going to go too far in depth. You'll want to select either My Directory or the My Matches, the top, once you get signed in and registered through the Tri-State APEX Accelerator Mega-Matchmaker site, and you'll see your meetings, my matches, and under manage your meetings. And that'll allow you to search up buyers that you will want to either send messages to or request a meeting with. Once you're searching up businesses, you could see the list under My Meeting Maker. You can see the list of businesses there, and there'll be 3 buttons: one for viewing their profile, requesting a meeting, and Let's Connect. The request meeting button will only be clickable after the event organizers has activated the function, which will usually be closer to the event date. We haven't quite gotten to that point yet, so it's not available to set up meetings yet, but just for future reference. Once that's available to connect, you can hit request a meeting, and it'll give you the dates, December 2nd or 3rd, and then you could select a time from the drop-down menu. The person that you're requesting a meeting from can accept or decline the meeting, and if you have any accepted meetings, they'll be added to your schedule under the dashboard. And you could also reach out to them and ask them questions or things like that in advance with the Let's Connect button if you wish. But the purpose of these events is really to make good connections, and so that's what we're going to be covering next. So before you set up these meetings, you're going to want to be strategic in identifying which buyers you really want to get meetings set up with. You're going to want to review the attendee lists, find the prime contractors and agencies that fit into your business's products and services. You'll probably want to stick to 1 to 3 buyers that you specifically want to target. You really want to stick with quality connections over quantity. 1 or 2 really good connections that move forward and form a relationship are probably a lot more worthwhile than just 10 meetings that go nowhere. You're also going to want to research some of these agencies and primes in advance, looking at procurement forecasts, current and past contracts that they've had, and also contractors. And so we'll go over some of these resources for identifying these opportunities and information that you could use as market research tools, both for this event and just in general. You could review agency procurement forecasts and small business sites to get an idea of what sorts of goods and services these buyers are going to be looking for in the near future. Acquisition.gov has agency procurement forecasts available that you could look through, and I'll go over a quick tutorial on how to do that. You could also use some of that information to find the past contracts and do market research, and you could find out what prices these contracts are going for, the size of these contracts, and also just determine if those contracts would be a good fit for your company or business. And obviously, SAAMMM.gov, you could look up contracts and find information there. And if you look at the procurement forecast, you could find contract numbers for past contracts that are going to be opening up, so you could find some information about that. So a quick tutorial on acquisition.gov here. Once you go to acquisition.gov itself, it'll bring you to this page, and you'll scroll down to where it says procurement forecasts. You'll click on that, and that'll bring you to this page here, which will have a list of all of the agencies that have procurement forecasts available. You're going to look for an agency that you're targeting. So for this example, I have Department of Energy available here, and you could just see here, there'll be a link to click on their agency procurement forecasts. Once you click on that, it'll bring it to their small business site. Now, all of these links can be a little different, but in this particular case, it brings you right here. And you could dig through these websites and find this information, but it's a little more straightforward to go from acquisition.gov. In this case, the DOE has a linked Excel sheet here, as you can see, the Federal Field Office Acquisition Forecast, just as an example. It has an Excel sheet full of information about what their contracts are going to be in the next year, what current contracts are going to be reopening for bid. So you'll want to check into these websites on a fairly regular basis and get an idea of what sort of contracts do they have now, what are going to be opening up for bid, and what you can bid on in the near future. And so this is a very important market research tool, just looking at these and understanding the dates and times of when things are going to be opening up, especially if you're targeting these for future meetings. So, procurement forecasts are essential to understanding what sorts of contracts are going to exist under different agencies. They're going to include information that you're going to want to know, like the current incumbent on a contract, the performance end dates for current contracts, and kind of give you an idea of when they're going to open up, the estimated budget for a contract, and any small business or socioeconomic set-asides, the place of performance, which will be important if you have a geographic limitation to your scope of work, and any agency points of contact for that specific contract. It'll allow you to anticipate when certain contracts will become available before the contract is listed for bid and prepare in advance to just know what generally is going to become available on the open market. You could also understand who your competitors are, if they already exist on these contracts, and who the prime contractors currently are if you're pursuing subcontracts, which can definitely help your business as you seek government contracting opportunities. So the reason we're really doing this is, these buyers, these agencies, and prime contractors, they want to work with your small business. Government agencies themselves have small business set-asides for a reason. They want to strengthen their supply chains and the industrial base at large. They want to make sure that bids are competitive and that small businesses are given these opportunities. And it is in accordance to federal acquisition regulations and the law to keep these opportunities open to small businesses. Specifically, Part 19.7 of the Federal Acquisition Regulations mandates that prime contractors also give subcontracting opportunities to these small businesses and businesses with the socioeconomic certifications. So you should understand that these businesses, both buyers, want to work with you as a small business and as well as the agencies. These help prime contractors with their subcontracting plans as it offers them networking events. It demonstrates that they've made a good faith effort to meet their subcontracting goals if they're actually going out there and meeting with small businesses and trying to actually get subcontractors. It helps them gain insight and efficiently outreach to small businesses that they want to work with. So all of this information will only help you with these events. So the main thing you really want to prepare with these meetings is sort of think of it like an elevator pitch. And you may have heard of an elevator pitch before. It's really just presenting like about a 60-second presentation, if you will, on who you are, what you can do, and or what you want done, more or less. And this is sort of a common thing in the business world. But for government contracting specifically, you're going to want to do your research on these buyers, what sorts of issues they're facing, and prepare a pitch that's tailored to their needs and your capabilities to address those needs. You'll want to define a unique value proposition for those buyers. What sets you apart from other suppliers that they may have already talked to or work with, what sort of certifications you have, but not getting too far into minutia and details that might be a bit too much for a short meeting. These meetings are only about 15 minutes long, so you're not going to want to go on and on and on about machinery or specific little niches that you have, but you do want to present efficiently and concisely. These should be relatively short, structured, confident, and clear. And the general structure of an elevator pitch in this instance should really be sort of an introduction of who you are, what you do, why you're different as a business, how you could help them, and a call to action maybe to schedule a follow-up meeting or to move forward with your relationship in some way. That's just generally, you can look up different sorts of structures of how you want to look at this, but generally you want to keep some sort of structure to help you keep a fairly consistent pitch whenever you're meeting with those buyers. And the next important thing here is you're going to want to follow up with your buyers after the meetings. You want to make sure you're proactively communicating with them afterwards. Generally, you'll want to send them a follow-up message within 48 hours of the meeting, thanking them for their time, making sure that you're moving the relationship forward and you're getting something moving forward from these meetings. You don't want to just wait or let it go and die on the vine. You want to keep it moving forward. Within about 30 days, you want to try to schedule some kind of follow-up meeting with them, get this relationship moving forward. And within 6 months, hopefully you'll have some kind of contact or relationship with these prime contractors or government agencies. So the meetings themselves, they're fairly short. You want to use this as a first step in a longer relationship. And an important part of establishing these relationships is respecting the buyer's time when you're setting up these meetings. You're going to want to make sure you're punctual, professional, and prepared. You got to join these meetings on time. If you can't make a meeting for any reason, say if there's an emergency that comes up or a technical issue, you want to make sure you reach out to them as soon as possible and let them know so that you can keep these relationships intact. If you don't show up to a meeting, you're not gonna have a relationship with that buyer. It's not You're not gonna get anything out of it. We want to make sure that this is a valuable use of your time and the buyer's time. And also should mention that the event itself will have a technical team working behind the scenes to make sure that all of these meetings are happening relatively smoothly and that any technical issues are dealt with. So we'll generally call or text people if meetings aren't being arranged within about a minute or so. These things are being tracked ahead of time. So you do have some technical support to make sure that these things are happening. And also, just another note, you want to make sure you dress professionally for this meeting. Think of this as how you address at a professional in-person networking event. Just because this is a virtual event doesn't mean that you can just dress up in a t-shirt or anything, casual clothes. You want to make sure you're wearing clothes appropriate to meeting serious business opportunities. So think of it that way. You want to make sure that you aren't coming off as insincere or inconsiderate of their time or unprofessional overall. And you also want to make sure that you're learning from these meetings. You're not going to walk away from these with a contract lined up, but you want to get something out of it, whether that be a follow-up meeting, a relationship moving forward, and use these meetings as sort of an introduction to yourself, your capabilities, to the buyers, and also to ask them certain questions that would be important to know as a supplier. Make sure you have some of these questions that are prepared in advance that can help you identify the needs of these buyers as you move forward with these relationships. And use what you learn from each meeting in future meetings, whether that be what you should be asking, what works, what doesn't work, to improve how you present your networking skills and also just your work as a government contractor. All of these things will be, important as you continue moving forward. And if you want to attend matchmakers, either this one or others in the future. Another important point is to make sure to stay informed. I should note that we have a list of the companies that are attending the Tri-State Mega-Matchmaker right now, but you want to continue to check in because we're going to have new buyers that could be added as the event comes closer. We only have about a month out, so hopefully we'll have more added as we get closer. But I should mention the current government shutdown can also be affecting agency buyers. So if the government shutdown ends, we might have a lot more buyers added to the list since it might not be a priority to be added to the Tri-State Mega Matchmaker or signing up for it for buyers right now, especially if they're federal agencies. So keep that in mind. Stay on top of the news when these things happen, and just stay on top of what the website is saying. You could also watch the other previous two prep sessions if you haven't already. They cover how to use the event platform itself in more detail and how to craft an effective capability statement specific to this event. And you'll want to watch those to get, all the different facets of preparation done here. So really the key points you're going to want to look at here are identifying buyers that you want to target in advance, buyers that are looking for your goods and your services, that you could address their needs and concerns. Do your research on what they're buying now, what they're going to be buying. Look at procurement forecasts. Make sure you get a good idea of what exactly they're going to need, and how you could address that, and prepare questions and things in advance. You don't want to show up unprepared. You want to make sure you're familiar with their company or their agency before you get these meetings set up, because you don't want to also come off as unprepared or unprofessional. You want to make sure you prepare an elevator pitch, practice that, tailor it to the buyers you are targeting. So figure out what they need and how you can say, well, my business has these qualifications that can help you specifically. Also important, aim for, quality meetings over quantity of meetings. You want to make sure you're getting the most out of these meetings. You're moving forward with these relationships. You're not just checking off a box and saying, oh, I met with 10 people, but nothing came of it. Also, an important part here is reaching out to your APEX Accelerator. If you want any kind of assistance or feedback on things like capability statements, elevator pitches, any sorts of things like this, you could reach out and talk to us. And or if you have any technical issues, we could point you in the right direction there as well. And just in general, working with your APEX Accelerator can help you when you're looking up, trying to figure out how to do market research and how to approach government contracting as a whole. So it's definitely an important research tool to work with there. And with that, I can open this up to questions. I have the registration link there if you don't have it already, and my contact information and just the date of the Tri-State Mega-Matchmaker. If you had any questions, if you haven't already put it in the chat, feel free or just reach out.
Great job, Luke. I just wanted to give you some follow-ups, tag along things that you had mentioned. I'm Robin Rowan. I'm the program manager for the Northwest Commission's APEX Accelerator. Very good points that you've made, Luke. I just wanted to mention a couple things, just because we've been doing this for about 6 years now. And just want you to know, like, if you schedule a meeting with a buyer and they deny you that meeting request, don't be discouraged. It might be that buyer has a certain focus for this year. And so, you know, try again next year if you feel that you are a good fit for that organization. Or at the same time, maybe they denied you a meeting, but there's also a section on there where you can, a feature on there where you can actually send a note or let's connect kind of thing. Send them a message and say, listen, I see that you denied my meeting request. Totally understandable. However, I feel that our company has some great solutions for your organization. And is there any way we can, you know, maybe make contact at another time or schedule outside the event? So just don't be discouraged on those kinds of things, especially if you really feel that you're a good fit for that agency. But again, they might not have that focus this year. Some other things I wanted to remind you of, when you are trying to do your research, and Luke gave some wonderful advice on doing research with these buyers. On the portal itself, the Tri-State Mega-Matchmaker portal, these buyers will have a profile also set up just like you do, and they will have brochures, they will have their website, they might have some other important information. So be very, you know, just be very, I guess, very aware of what they have to offer on their profile as well. So, and if I know Luke showed you how to find the forecast for some of these agencies. Well, some of the buyers are not agencies; they are prime contractors. If you can't find any information on their profile on how to get to their website, I always recommend to our clients is go to Google and just put in the words "doing business with," say for instance, it's Lockheed Martin that you're trying to find more information. Just Google "doing business with Lockheed Martin," and it should take you to their "doing business with" page. So that's just a recommendation. I'm just trying to, I made some notes here, things I didn't want to make sure we forget to mention. I did notice in the slide deck too, there was must have been a link to the APEX Accelerator that it kept going to each of the pages. We'll remove that. All these slides will be sent to everyone. But I don't know, that accidentally got put in there, Luke, somehow, but we'll get that removed so it's not showing up and covering some of the information. Some other things, yeah, as Luke had said, you know, respect the buyer's time. We have been doing this event for 6 years, and this is something that we here started in this tri-state area, and it's one of the biggest virtual events in the country, and we want to make this very valuable for you as a participant and very valuable for those buyers. They attend a lot of events throughout the year. And being that this is one of the largest virtual events, we want to make it worth their time. So we have seen in the past where companies will schedule meetings and then they won't show up. And then, we get online and talk to the buyer, and it becomes very frustrating for them if they are making these meetings and people don't show up. So like Luke had said, please make sure you reach out if you have an emergency, or even if you don't have time, it's an emergency, you don't have time to reach out, make sure you reach out to them later on, or reach out to one of us. We will let them know what's going on. But again, we want this to be a very positive experience for the buyers and as you as well. The last couple years have been very, very good. We have not had many people not show up for some of the meetings. So it's been getting better as the years go on. I think that's all the things I had. Melissa, I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, Luke did a great job. Just, yeah, doing those, research. Really, if you're working with your Apex Accelerator, you know, outside of attending a networking event, we of course can help walk you through using those sites, one-on-one and navigating like FedBizOp, or excuse me, FB, USA Spending is a good site to use as well. I'm not sure if that was on Luke's list. Yeah.
The
So
FPDS is,
yeah, an FPDS.
maybe Luke will add those links to that one page before we send out the PowerPoint. So be sure
Yeah,
to
those are
check that out.
good resources to find out who contracts that companies have received. And I think in USA Spending, you can also look at subcontracting too. So yeah, but great presentation, Luke.
Yes. I don't see any questions in the chat. They've been easy on us today.
Well, if you have any further questions, you could reach out to me or any of us at any time. We can definitely answer your question there. If I see someone's typing in the chat now.
Yeah, we're always on hand. Even if after today you want us to help you, just schedule a one-on-one meeting with us or your Apex Accelerator, and we'll go through the profile, help you set up your profile, or help you, if you're trying to target an agency or a prime, let us do some of that work for you too. We can definitely dig in. It's one of my favorite things to do as an Apex Accelerator counselor is doing market research. I actually wish that's all I had to do because I have fun doing market research.
All right. Well, if there's no more questions or anything else, this has been recorded. We could send out the recording, and we'll also send out the slides, which has all the links that we mentioned, if you don't have them already. And yeah, like I said, if you had any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out at any time and we can get you the answer you need.
Yeah, and Melissa just put in the chat a link to where you can find the other pre-recorded sessions to this prep series. They're listed right on the website, and we'll get this link also up on the website as soon as possible. But you should get an automatic, I think after you log off of the meeting, you should get an automatic recording link, but then we will send out we also save it to our YouTube channel, and we'll get that YouTube link sent out to you as well.
Well, if there's nothing else, no other questions, and if Robin or Melissa don't want to add anything else, I think we can adjourn this session a little early, if that sounds good to you, Robin.
Yeah, sounds great. We'll give back some of their morning, half an hour of their morning left.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for showing up.